Good afternoon, Courtney Scott here from KnowledgeWell Media. Just giving you the daily report and rundown on the things that are happening around the country and in our neck of the woods. Today you should be proud to be an American, and more than American, proud to be a patriot of the Americas. Lots of things happening around the world, things that you need to be aware of, and make sure that you are checking the powers that be to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for our country, for your family, and for the citizens of the United States. Unfortunately, that's not what's actually happening. Once again, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has downgraded the U.S. economy. We're just having a hard time even reaching 2.0% as far as GDP growth. So we're stuck somewhere down in the 1.4. I think if you are real with yourself and not afraid to tell the truth, it's pretty evident that our country is not as healthy as the government and the elites are trying to push to us we are. So again, 1.4% is where we're hovering at, barely able to break 2% for as far as GDP growth. That's not a good thing, and it's been ongoing and consecutive. But we have two parties or two opposite sides saying two different things. The IMF is saying that everything is not good and we can't break the 1.4% GDP growth, and then you have Hillary and the President of the United States, Barack Obama, claiming that anyone that says that the economy is not doing good is peddling fiction. So in this case, I guess the IMF is peddling fiction. You decide based on the things that you see going on, the job numbers, and as far as the job losses, the actual unemployment numbers. I was listening to Gregory Mannarino today on a podcast I frequent, and I like what he had to say. He said that people don't even know what bathroom to use nowadays because the economy, the world is just upside down. Another report I was listening to today, speaking on the German government, that actually put out an alert and a warning to the people of Germany to stock food for at least 10 days and to make sure that they have their house in order and their foundations are strong as far as their supplemental living and supplies and things like that. Now, why is the German government coming out and giving this warning? Well, I was doing a little digging. There's also reports of 40 million Russians in bunkers preparing for something. We don't know what it is, but obviously there's something going on worldwide that are causing people to take evasive actions. But I don't see many U.S. Americans taking precautions and actions. I do remember back maybe last month that the president himself came on and kind of told Americans to make sure that you have emergency supplies and things, but I don't see the sense of urgency from the American people. It seems that we're just going on with life as usual and more preoccupied with shows about the Kardashians and Kanye West, Dances with the Stars and things like that. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that entertainment avenue, but I think we're in a little bit more trouble than the government is letting on. So Germans were told to stock food for 10 days. Now, I can't help but associate that to the reports that are coming out about Deutsche Bank, one of my favorite topics that I report on quite a bit, as you know, if you pay attention to this channel. But Deutsche Bank is the largest bank in Germany. And we know that just last week they had IT issues where they couldn't supply the people that wanted their funds from their bank. And also we know that they are being fined by the DOJ for about $14 billion, which they aren't able to pay. So there is solvency issues with Deutsche Bank. Now that obviously the bank is where the German people keep their money. And so we can see that a lot of times when there is economical issues and things, people depend on the credibility of their banks. Well, if Deutsche Bank is going down, guess what? then there's no credibility there, and that would cause a collapse in the society, being that that is the largest bank in Germany. They're sending out warnings here, and I don't think the American people, and perhaps our pride as being a great country, is paying attention to the signs. I mean, look at what we have going on just in the elections alone. Look at the farce and the stage plays that are going on between Hillary and Trump. Look at how divided our country is. We have Democrats against Republicans, Republicans against Black Lives Matter. The whole country is divided between race, between gender, between the appropriate, as Gregory Mannarino said, the appropriate place to use the bathroom. And there's great confusion, you know, marriage, same-sex marriage. We have abortion issues and things like that. So when you really look at the American economy, and as far as our social order, it is in disarray. And so we need to figure out a way to be prepared for what may be coming down. You know, myself, I believe in precious metals to back your income and or your holdings, to protect your wealth. I believe in prepping and storing food storage and things like that. These things are important. It's said that over 90% of Americans wouldn't be prepared for these type of events. A large amount of Americans would starve if the grid was to go down. There's talks of EMP attacks and things like that. What would you do if all the power went down? I would make sure that I have a family plan, or emergency plan. I would make sure that my finances are in order and that I have some type of a hedge if the banks were to close, if they were to deny any withdrawals from the bank. Because if there is an emergency of sorts on a large scale, those banks are not going to stay open for fear of there being a run on the bank or what have you. So be wise. Don't be asleep. I sound the alarm, and there's many others. It's not just me, but we're sounding the alarm, trying to get you prepared and trying to let you know ways and avenues of being prepared. So don't tune out. It's now time to tune in. We're in the last and evil days, and we were warned, as far as those who are Bible-believing Christians, we were warned of these times, and these times are now upon us. So don't be asleep. Be in the know. I know it's overwhelming. This is not a fear tactic. This is dealing with actual facts. Do we really disbelieve that God knew what he was talking about when he talked about the last and evil days? Then you should be being prepared. If you know about any great man, woman in the Bible, they were always forewarned. You know, God says, I always send warning before destruction. And so you don't want to be caught up in that large mass that ends up facing destruction because they weren't prepared. Think of the foolish virgins, that parable in the Bible. Think about Noah. What would have happened if he had not prepared and listened to the warnings and things like that? He preached, the Bible says, about 120 years. And the only people he was able to save and spare were his own family. So think about your cousins, think about aunties, uncles, and things like that. Don't be asleep. Be prepared. This is Courtney Scott with KnowledgeWell Media. Please subscribe, like, and share. I value your comments. Let's get some comments out there. I'd like to kick around a few ideas and things like that and know what you think about some of the topics that I'm talking about. Help me get stronger and get better at this. I value your criticism. I'm not afraid of it. I will address it. Let's deal with it together. Help me out. Help me help you, as I heard it said in a movie. I think that was Jerry Maguire. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way, Jerry Maguire. And I want to thank my wife for the beautiful lunch that she provided for me. She always does a great job. And, you know, I'm truly blessed. She gets up every morning with me around 3 in the morning and has everything laid out for me. And I really appreciate that. So I'm truly blessed. And want to say hi to my daughter, Olivia. She's getting big. And I'm just thankful to God for each day that he gives me. And thanks for a strong desire to get the word out to people around the country and around my neck of the woods. So be blessed today. Remember to find God in your day somewhere. You know, I always, when I say that, I get in my mind the picture of Where's Waldo. You know, you kind of find him. He's amongst other things that may have similar colors or whatever like that. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Be blessed.